Hey, it's your favorite Starcom Cyber Commander, JonoThoraShow, logging on. Gonna talk some fun shit tonight. Let's get this volume just right. That's just pretty good, actually. I already got it set up. Got myself some coffee, some treats. Let me tell everybody on the Discord that I'm on. Coffee mission complete. I'm on. Yeah, that's funny. Hello, people. I am on. I'm gonna move this camera to a position. Hello, from Texas. Hello. Yeah, Texas does not sound like it's doing too good right now. Sounds like you guys. I saw a TikTok feed of somebody talking about how you guys don't have water in one of the zones, and like not just water, but like various supplies, food, stuff like that. He had to like, in order to get his house working, he had to buy he was going to buy a whole bunch of Coca-Cola and use that to flush down the toilet. And I was just like, now that I say that, I'm just thinking like the movie Idiocracy, and I'm like, oh my God, that's just like an Idiocracy where they replaced all of the water with electrolytic food supply stuff. And get this. I might have to upgrade this, or like make my own. Probably have to make my own. Is that on? Yeah, that's on. It's lit. It's lit. Oh gosh, it smells like bleach. That's so bad. That does not sound like a good thing. That sounds like a bad thing. You know, I have the water that I have. It's from like I'm like in the industry district, and so like the water's like polluted most of the time. So I have like a double filter, and it smells like sewage sometimes. Not after it goes through the filter, but there's like this one pipe that I have where if the water stays in there for too long, and when I say too long, I'm talking like 2-3 hours. That's all it takes, and it starts smelling like sewage, and it's like, what the fuck's in this pipe? So I gotta replace the pipe still. That's been too long. I gotta just do that. Oh, it's not anymore. Oh, it's not snowing in. Hey guys. Yeah, that makes sense that it would be so sunny, because they did basically like drained the clouds out of the sky. Oh, wow. So you're at the border, and so you have the immigration issues. Have you actually seen the immigration issues in person? Like we're trying to get like every physical in-person account of anything is way more valuable than whatever the TV says, or even whatever like just kind of feeds that we're getting. If it's just like citizens independently reporting, that is like a billion times more valuable, because we're literally seeing like somebody's authentic video feed. And I mean, I'm not literally asking you to go on some sort of mission but I mean, you know, that would be very kind and generous of you. that'd be pretty cool. Hey Jazz, I'm glad you're all. Wow, I'm glad all of you guys got on. I should post on the Discord whenever I'm coming on, so that you all know. Undercover video, nice. Okay. I'm drinking. So this is drip coffee. I switched to drip coffee at the Starbucks because I'm trying to get off of. I'm every chance I get, I'm slowly iterating to a time where I'm not on milk or eggs anymore. Now, I'm not at a success rate. I actually had a fallback where I'm eating eggs again, but I'll figure it out. But for now, it's a drip coffee, medium roast with oat milk. They have oat milk at Starbucks now. Finally have oat milk at Starbucks, so I can have that's great. And then Irish cream syrup. I saw that new South Park episode, and yeah, I will. What? Wait. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. I love oat milk too. Oh, you guys are all super like active today. This is a really good day. It's a good day. I'm supposed to have a spiritual awakening according to, like, today is supposed to be a major spiritual awakening for me today. So this is going to be an interesting episode because it's probably going to happen during the episode. And then after the episode, I'm probably going to go into the engineering bay and work on the helm kit. Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all of these cool things that fucking just happened. Oh, and by the way, happy new moon. We just had a new moon on Saturday, or Saturday night, or it was a Friday night. The night between Friday and Saturday. Yeah. And so we're in the next lunar cycle, and it's pretty good. I mean, both the lunar cycle and the coffee. And yes, I definitely saw the new South Park episode. If you have questions about that, I watched like at least 85% of the episode slack-jawed. Like, oh my god, like just the level that they were blasting from that episode. And it's kind of weird that the people who are indoctrinated so extremely on both sides see so clearly what it's trying to say. Like, they didn't, in the episode, they did not deny anything about the Q. There was no denial about Q anywhere in the episode at all. They simply, if anything, the episode just fully acknowledged and embraced the notion that it's true and that there's nothing that we can do. And that's what the episode really was trying to say from a Q follower perspective. I can see that I'm still removing myself from the psyop. And I'm not telling you that you're crazy if you're in the psyop. I'm warning you, it is a psyop. It doesn't mean that these things aren't true. It means that it's still a psyop. So beware, because at any moment it can be taken and transformed into something that manipulates you into a cult. Don't fucking fall for that. That's the threat. And so that's what I'm usually trying to warn about. But at the same time, it's very beneficial to know about the intel from the QAnon PSYOP, which is over, by the way. If you didn't know that, it's technically over. That doesn't mean that the NSA's Q group doesn't exist, and that doesn't mean that the anonymous white hat hackers don't exist. They still do, but it's like, what a situation. So, yeah, that episode really just kind of shocked my underwear. The South Park episode, the latest one, was about the last year of events and happenings, and it really revolved around the QAnon conspiracy theory, combined with, actually that was it. It's pretty much about the QAnon conspiracy theory, and they didn't deny it. They didn't it wasn't like that South Park episode where they made fun of the Mormons and was like dum dum da dum dum dum, and then like the Mormons got really pissed off and had the episode like completely banned. Gosh. But in this case, they didn't say that the QAnon conspiracy was dumb. They said that they didn't say it was true. They showed in the episode that the creators of the South Park show are also under the gun, and they demonstrated that their characters in the show are at the absolute whims. And it was really on the nose, and I recommend watching the episode. I recommend it because it's not about converting to QAnon, it's about watching that fucking show. Because in America, South Park is one of the dominating cultural feedback loops that we get at all. And
the show did not disappoint nor skimp on the details. Visually, storyline wise, everything. It did not skimp, and it was utterly intense to observe the situation. And I have to admit, Mr. Garrison, who is supposed to emulate Donald Trump, like basically sold us out so that he can get Mr. Hat back, so he can get his old life back. So let me reiterate that, because this is very important, and I foresaw a little. I'm not gonna be egotistical about this. Instead, I'm just going to shoot straight. What I saw was the character that most emulates Trump backstab the whites, backstab anybody who was aware of the cabal, and trying to warn the entire population, and basically throw them under the bus. The character who emulates Trump throws his followers under the bus and simply just embraces the Illuminati, who then provide him everything he wanted. And then he got his old life back. And that's the storyline. Everybody got shots, and it was fucked up. So I don't know if that's supposed to be predictive programming or them trying to put out a message that that's what really happened. Probably a little bit of both. Because I certainly feel like Trump kind of might do that. And when I converse with myself across realities, it's like, do you really trust this guy? And I'm just like, no, I don't. And I don't trust the fandom about it. I love the fandom about it. But that's because they're all patriots. And I can see the patriots flipping their shit in a very sad, self-destructive way if they find out that Trump has completely backstabbed and abandoned them. And it's like, wouldn't that just be like icing on the cake in a massive plan created by the Illuminati to fuck them up? And that's pretty sad. And that's how I feel about that. Oh, that's right. Biden did the thing where he was all like, I'm here to talk about how I don't have dementia and that I am capable of being robot controlled and talking to you just exactly the way that I can. If you don't take the shot, we might have to do lockdowns all over again. And it was like, I remember I was watching one TikTok video of this wonderful woman who was explaining how the way that Biden was speaking was a 3-step standard issue classic model of an abuser keeping their abusees in check and in line. And it was like, he gave you a candy, but then said, if you don't do what I say, then I'm gonna beat you. And it was like, she explained the model way better than me, but that was like the metaphor. I was like, whoa. And I've only seen clips of the video. I haven't watched the video myself. I'm sure it's online. By the way, right now we're listening to one of the best hacker soundtrack playlists on Spotify. I just decided to switch it up because I've been doing a lot of lo-fi, and I really like my lo-fi. But I felt a little more punky today. You know, I just felt a little more like cyberpunk. And I think that's probably because I got the new lights. I got 2 new color lights to light up the whiteboards, and it just completes the entire spatial look of the environment. I mean, the bunch of garbage trash that's in the middle of the space doesn't help. I could stand to throw all of that out, but I haven't been waking up early enough to do a garbage run to the dump. Just trailing back, looking at people's comments, and now I need to do a flash load to see what people said. Okay. So yeah, like, oh, there it goes. Well, I mean, I'm going to talk about the Patriots and the historical revolutionaries and all that stuff, because it's really important. There's another question. Do you feel the evil ones will be taken down? I will talk about that. And how do they control them? I've heard of Monarch. I'm not sure if that's a question. It looks like a comment and a question and a comment combined. I believe the Civil War has been already happening. I believe the Civil War started as of 2020. And it's basically there's militias of all kinds of factions. And so it's not like red versus blue. It's way more like this versus that, them versus us, black versus white, Asians versus Asians. Yeah, Asians versus Asians. Yeah, that's definitely. This is the first time, as I say that out loud, I'm like, I was like, Asians versus America. It's like, no, I mean that's also happening, but that's not part of the Civil War. So then who are the Asians in America fighting? It's like the other Asians. Fuck. That sucks. Oh, right. And so about the Patriots and the revolution. So it has been foretold in the ancient prophecies of Cyberpunk 2020 that and that's a board game with a whole lot of lore that explains what happens over the next 10 years. And the Illuminati are duping the old school patriot, Republican, conservative, Christian people into a massive trap. They are not ready, and they have never been ready for what's to come. And it's already here. And I'm just going to flat out explain this, because I've been tiptoeing around this conversation for way too long, and you guys deserve better than that. And the reason why I've been tiptoeing about it is because everybody's following these fucking narratives that they produced, and it's like I study this shit, and I'm just gonna fucking give myself the billions credits of honor points, because I do not like seeing after having such heartfelt connection and love with the Christian folk. That was a big deal for me. I used to actually be an atheist who was estranged from Christianity because I thought that they were the people who, went across the world and conquered everybody else's culture and murdered the fuck out of all of their people, like in South America, and burned all their books and then forced everybody to worship like a symbol of desecration. And it's like, fuck you. And no longer, because now I realize that the only reason that happened was because the Christians themselves had already been taken over by a much more evil force, and I didn't know that, and they don't know that, and that's part of the problem. So they're completely devout to a religion, not a god, but a religion that has completely taken over the good narrative that their Messiah, Yahshua, who was renamed to Jesus over a long period of time. Like, they don't even know about Yahshua. Like, some of them do. And that's so cool that there's Christians that know the history, and then as a result, they have direct, heartfelt connection, spiritual connections with God directly. They can speak to angels directly, all of that kind of good stuff. But so many of these people have been forced into the culture because it's join the culture or die. And that's what it was. And the point, what I'm trying to really circle back on this is that same evil force is ultimately trying to kill it's ultimately trying to kill what cannot be killed. And what I'm talking about, what cannot be killed, is the holy spiritual heart of humanity. They will not be able to succeed. They think they can. They're going to see some major wins, but it doesn't matter because those wins are all superficial, and they didn't get it to die off from within. They didn't have the holy heart of humanity crumble from within. And they basically cannot do that because it's eternal in nature, and as long as we all fucking have pineal glands, we can all connect to that across the cosmic horizon. And so, like, sorry, bad assholes, you lose. Yeah, I mean, you know, you might be badass because of how corrupt you are, but that's just because your ass is bad and everybody can smell it, and it's really gross. And I don't know how long it's been since you cleaned that. You need to go take a shower, and you turn up the heat up to like 200 degrees Celsius because it's really gross. And you have a lot of layers of crud. And I know that's a really high temperature. I mean, we're talking, I can't do Hey Siri. I mean, we're talking Celsius to Fahrenheit, right? And it's really fucking hot. I mean, like 200 degrees Fahrenheit's really hot. But 200 degrees Celsius, let's turn that into Celsius to F. Fahrenheit. God, that guy's name. I'm sure Google knows that I don't know how to spell it, and it does. Thank you. Oh, it's not that bad. You know, I was thinking like 600, 800 degrees Fahrenheit. It's only 392 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's like hot enough to burn something. Like, I think that's hot enough to light something on fire. And you know, you might need that because of how disgusting their butts are. Anyway, so I know that's gross, so we don't have to talk about their butts. And instead, I know it's fine. So instead, let's refocus on what I'm trying to point out here about the Patriots and how they're being duped. At this point, after that South Park episode, I'm much more convinced that Trump was an agent at some level. And I don't believe that we should trust that narrative. I'm pretty confident that the conservative, Republican, Christian, white people are the target because they are the only ones left that are really, really gripping and defending this holy kind of thing. No, it's not like that. It's almost like that. Let's see, what is it really like? It's the white part. It's that white part. It's not even the whites. It's not even the whites. But it is a target against these, the red team. And the thing is that the Democrat blue team, the Democrat liberal blue team, they're also being targeted. But target mission complete, they are completely under the spell of manipulation. And so that's part of it. It's a really bad scenario where both parties have been completely hijacked. And right. And so what I'm pretty confident may happen is all of the followers of Trump are going to be forced into a scenario where they will believe that it's up to them to save the country by fighting a revolution and in physical form. But what they don't realize about the severity of the enemy is that the enemy has access to space weapons, a death robot army, a biological warfare that can target species, people individually, specific gene codes, families, you name it, they can target it. And so they can target one individual person with the virus. They can target a family lineage with the virus. They can target a race with a virus. They can target an eye color with the virus. They can target Republicans with the virus. How do you do that? Well, you target Republicans with the virus because when you have a certain mindset that results, that is correlative to epigenetics in your code, in your genes, of your behavior lineup. And that's behavioral. Epigenetics and behavior have a correlation with each other. And so if their epigenetic gene code is close enough to basically believing in living, not believing, living the life. You see the difference there? There's believing, but then there's living the life of a conservative Republican Christian. You can target that because their gene code's associated with people who live that lifestyle. They eat certain foods, and so they only intake certain types of materials. They have certain behavioral patterns which result in certain types of physical movements. Those behavioral patterns are linked to their neurons, and their neurons determine what kind of epigenetics are set and not set, and that you can create a virus that targets people with only those specific gene code settings. And so that's an example of advanced biowarfare that we are going to that we are being threatened with on a transnational level. And so the weapons that I'm talking about, the targeting, the warfare that I'm talking about, this isn't the same as the 1700s, where grab your rifle and musket and then hide inside the forest. They can see you using heat sensor recognition technology. They know where you are, and they don't need to send troops into the forest. They can just have a drone fly over you and then just basically drop something on you and then kill you silently, without your without your crew in the forest with you knowing. I mean, that's the severity of the enemy. And so you think you're going to be able to get, these fully automatic, super awesome weapons and stuff, because this is America. But in reality, the enemy is so advanced that, you don't have drones with direct energy weapons technology. They don't even need that. They just need a sniper rifle on the drone, and they can shoot you from from a mile in the sky. You can't see it coming. That's it. Boom. Think about that. If you're a hunter, think about that. Can you easily target that? And we're just talking about one drone, and they have an army of drones. This is the threat. And that's how bad of a situation we're talking about. And as a Tho'ra, this is like entry to Terminator land. And so we're really close. We're talking about a 2026 Terminator scenario occurs. It's not a good situation to be in if you are a revolutionary in a fight to save the heart of humanity. Does that mean that the bad guys are winning? No, obviously not. The bad guys are not winning. They're having a really hard time, and that's because there seems to really authentically be good guys. That's just a fucking narrative that we're being fed in order to keep the revolutionaries docile long enough so that when they flip that switch and trick everybody in order to get them to jump up and fight in a revolution, that's a lot easier to kill them all at once. But if they really wanted to do that, they would have did that a while ago, right? We would have already seen civil war a while ago. And according to the deep net feeds of the military, it seems like that's not what they, obviously that's not what they want. They don't want that because that's just going to get a whole bunch of good-hearted American people killed. And not just Americans, like people across the world killed. They don't want that. That's against their moral code, because they're supposed to defend the people. And so that's so I'm just trying to say here, what I'm really trying to say here is, if you really want to fight in the revolution, it's an information warfare is much more of a better way to pull this off, because shooting your guns at a bunch of people is not going to cut it. Because first of all, the only people that you're going to be shooting are a bunch of mind-controlled people who are part of the citizenry, and that's not really worth anything. In fact, if anything, you get negative points because you're shooting friendlies. And they're not necessarily friendlies because they're mind-controlled zombies, but the mind control can be turned off. And we're trying to save as many lives as possible, and these enemies that we're talking about, the mind-controlled friendlies, don't even have guns. So, like, what do you do? And there's no soldiers to shoot, because what soldiers are going to be shooting? United States America military soldiers are pretty much the only soldiers that you'll actually end up seeing. And so any revolution that you try to be part of, it's gonna be fucked up. Does that mean don't get a bunch of guns anyway, and you know, don't create a militia? It's like, no, that is not what I'm saying. That is definitely not what I'm saying. I mean, if you want to do that, if you're into that, fucking do it, okay? Because there's all kinds of threats, and it's a good idea to have a militia-based society capable and ready at any time to defend itself, even at that level. You definitely want it. No reason. So I'm not being some sort of wuss about this. I'm trying to explain from a cyber commander's perspective, from an officer in the field of information technology and information warfare, cyber warfare. I gotta tell you that in this day and age, the information is the value, and that is the real bullet, and that's why the enemy is fighting so hard on the internet to censor everybody, because the information is the most powerful weapon we have against them. And so the cyber war has been a very difficult one, because the enemy already has the jump on technology for a number of reasons, including the fact that the good guys have the Christians on their side. But as a consequence of that, we also have the traditional people who are conservative, and as a result, they don't embrace the new technology. And as a consequence of that, we don't get it as intensely as these evil fuckers who not only embrace the technology wholeheartedly, but then they go to this much more extreme, corrupt level of embracement where they don't care about going over the line and creating Terminators. They don't care about going past the line and like doing mass censorship and creating cancel culture. They don't care about the serious ramifications of it's worse than not caring. They want, we're talking about a satanic Luciferian cult. They want to pollute and corrupt the entirety of the species with their way, because it's what they believe in. It's who they are as people, and they've been hunted down, massacred, oppressed, mutilated, not bamboozled, I guess, but every negative word that you can imagine, exiled, hunted down, not worse than like dogs, worse than rats. And they want revenge against every culture that has done that. And frankly, every good guy culture, whether you be Christian, Muslim, or Jewish, or just a lineage, family line, like whether you be, from the Asia lands or from the Oceania lands, or the North or South America lands, if you want to call it that, all the way to Antarctica and all of that kind of stuff. So we got a fight on our hands that has been already happening. So I'm telling you, as a cyber warfare type warrior, I'm alerting you that the situation is that the information warfare is key. If we don't win that one, we're all doomed. Your guns mean nothing. And that's not okay, because your guns are fucking awesome. Just gonna say that, It's like, Nothing is like, I love watching the feed of just a bunch of Americans fucking shooting guns to the music of AC/DC. And it's just like, fuck yeah. So that's so, like, I don't know, thrilling and quite American, which is kind of surprising because it seems very violent. It's like, America isn't supposed to be violent, and it's just like, well, America's supposed to be free, and that's like that's a pretty, as a fire sign in astrology, as a fire sign type person, no, that's pretty free. You're expressing like awesome, ferocious explosion action, and it's like, go. It's very masculine. It's a very masculine oriented appreciation, love, and that, I think that's, it's like, oh, that's toxic masculinity. And it's like, well, I don't know about that. I think it's more like embracing masculinity, and it can be toxic, but I mean, the toxicity is very specific, and they're, frankly, I don't think that's a very toxic thing. I think toxic masculinity is a lot more about being toxic in a masculine way. That's, so it doesn't really have to do with masculinity being toxic. It has to do with masculine type people behaving in a toxic manner. Yeah, we don't like that. Nobody likes that. Toxic masculinity dads, no go. Like, I don't know if therapy's good enough. I think they need like a psionic brain cap to modify their behaviors directly, because it looks like that might be genetic, and that should be undone. Good luck. Oh yeah, I didn't get the thing. Looks like we have a Satanist in the group. Doing spellcraft, no doubt. Yeah, they don't want unity. I'm going to read all of this, but I also have to go to the bathroom real quick because I just had a bunch of coffee. So stay on. Enjoy the music. I'm going to be right back. So it takes like maybe a minute. That's a TikTok video. I've attended. I think that was less than a minute. I washed my hands. Don't worry about it. Oh, good. Okay, I'm up to. I'm gonna get up to speed. My friends are finally waking. I'm glad your friends are finally waking up. That's a big deal. Do you feel the evil ones will be taken down? Yeah, I think so. What is the Gnostic Illuminati? So, the Gnostics aren't necessarily the enemy. But once again, the forces of evil take over and corrupt every single type of belief structure, Christianity included, like Muslim included, and Jewish included, like Buddhism included, Hindi included. The full breadth of all of these folks have a corruption. And it's not really about the Gnostics being inherently evil. The Gnostics believe in knowledge, and knowledge is only gained through experience. And so they're much more wisdom focused. I was watching a video about it. It was really, really enlightening, and it helped me out. Because I was thinking that the Gnostics were bad guys. And that was really, I was wrong. That's really just much more about the corruption agents, the Illuminati corruption folk, screwing up that whole thing. Once again, it's all about corruption and not about the belief structure. So, I could talk about that for a while. I'm going to look at more things. Have you seen the videos of the White House and some construction? Yeah, I've seen a lot of video about White House and just kind of stuff, things. I will talk about Christianity, whether it's true or not. That's a really big topic, and that's very important. And yeah, or is it a mix of spirituality and Christianity? So it's kind of like a mix. Someone says there's a roach in my room, but there is not. And that's like pretty much we're talking about somebody who I'm highly suspicious of them right now. I don't see them on the feed anymore, but that person who says there's a roach in the room, like that is basically a malicious satanic spellcraft as far as I'm concerned. I don't trust the fuck out of that. The timing of me reading that wasn't very good, and I'm getting the psychic sense that that was like an intrusion attempt in order to manifest that kind of situation, in order to basically create a spiritual roach that is infecting the room in order to monitor the situation. And frankly, I have an idea for that. Bug spray. All killer bug spray. Actually, food healthy, surprisingly. Mostly just kills little insects, including roaches. Fucking asshole coming on our feed trying to do that shit. Yeah, combating the... Oh, how would you combat that? I'm probably asking about the drones. The best way you can combat against the drones is with... well, their best feature is also their weakness. So their strengths are their weaknesses. So what is their strength? That they can see your heat signature and target you from a mile in the sky. But if they can't see your heat signature, then they're fucked. They can't target you. Their entire targeting system is compromised and the drones become useless. And so if you have, and it's very cheap to do this, you can get, let me show you. So these rescue blankets are made out of Mylar. You can get one for like a couple dollars. Very cheap. And you basically, if you just cover yourself on the top with these Mylar blankets, drones can't target you because they block your heat signature. You have to make sure that you're completely covered with the Mylar blanket, but as long as you are, they can't see you. Like, they can't see you at all, and then their targeting computer systems don't register you as a target, and as a manifestation of that, you survive. They might see little blips of your heat signature if you like accidentally put your hand out or something for a time, but that'll never be big enough for it to flag you as a human target, and instead it'll be like, oh, we just saw like a bird or a rat, like, you know, scurrying across the ground. So Mylar blankets would be the #1 way to defend against cyber warfare death robots. It's basically a cloaking device against them. So that's one major way that you can defend against that. Yeah, they killed the Iranian general drones. They're just doing that. An army of skilled gamers. Yeah. Get gamers that can fly drones correctly. I know I'm far back in the feed, so I'm still going. So where's the part where we all live in peace? Peace can be in your heart and in your mind. And so the truth of the matter is that, oh gosh, this is a long-winded thing that I don't need to get into. So that I'm not going to do the whole thing. You are responsible for living in peace. You don't have to wait for some military to kill all the bad guys for you to live in peace within your own self. If you can do this, you're part of the solution, and that is absolutely vital. It's not about whether or not they're oppressing us. That sucks, and we do have to fight for our right to party and be peaceful and happy and joyous. Because remember, peace is not the same thing as joy. And it's not like they're mutually exclusive. It's just they're different words, they're different experiences. And that's the best I can say so far. Probably expand into it. Oh gosh, someone asks, do you think, I'm not sure if you're still on. I don't think you're still on. That's okay. So do you think that evil can be defeated in this lifetime? And metaphysically, no. I mean that. Evil, and yes. So yes and no. And I'm going to explain how no, and then I'll explain how yes, because I said no first. So on a mathematical level, what exactly is evil? Evil is what is universally bad, bad for the whole universe. And what is holy? Holy is what is universally good for the whole universe. So as a manifestation of that situation, it must be accepted and acknowledged, cool, that if the dichotomy of good and bad and holy and evil, if this duality exists, you can't really get rid of evil because it is mathematically intrinsic in the universe due to positive and negative, light and dark, good and bad being part, an expression, an extension of the duality of the universe. And so, no, you can't really get rid of that. You can create a universe that is entirely holy. So this is the flip side of what I just said, right? Because I always like doing that. I'm not afraid to then say, well, yeah, that's true, but it's like, right? Because we're trying to figure this out as entities in this universe. Universes can be flipped to an entire energy expression. And so that means that an entire universe can be converted to holy. The entire universe can be made positive through natural generation of that universe. The math that makes that universe exist in the first place generates into a version of itself over its eternal existence until it gives birth to its final result. And what's its final result? Whatever it might be, depending on the settings of that universe on its incarnation. And so that's a lot of big words for basically saying we can make the entire universe holy. And then I can hear the Christian not aware people, sorry for you, and that, true, that, well, the entire universe is holy. No way. No fucking way. No. There's bad things in the universe. Bottom line. If there's bad things in the universe, then there is a good and bad dichotomy, and as a manifestation of that, you have evil in the universe. Because there's universal evil then. If you have the small one, as above, so below, as below, so above. There's always that direct link, and it's part of the cosmic connection of all of existence. And so if you want your holiness to exist, holy is a concept of duality between holy and evil. You can't have holy if there is no evil. Then there is no holy. There just is. And you could see it like that, but then you're kind of completely ignoring the cosmic elephant in our universe's room. which is a very Republican thing to do. Because Republicans, that's why the Republicans have the elephant as their symbol in America. Like, we have the elephant. Wow, I actually identified as them. No, I was saying more like America, because right, I would say we have the donkey, because I'm coming from an American perspective. Yeah, okay, feel better. A donkey being the one, the jackass being the one who is part of the Democrat liberals who are saying, we have the jackass. And it's like, you guys are jackasses. That's a good symbol for you. And then the Republicans are like, ooh, we're better. And it's like, no, you guys are not paying attention to the elephant in the room. It's really big, very obvious. You didn't, it's right there. It's on, it's your logo is all about the elephant in the room. It's like, come on. Oh. And so if you take away yourself from being a Republican or Democrat, a conservative or a liberal, if you get out of that narrative that has been created to entrap you by the evil people that we're talking about, you free yourself to have some peace, because that duality, blue versus red, is part of how they trick us into falling into a mental trap, into a socio-cultural trap of fighting our brothers and sisters, which we do not need. Does that mean that you don't have beliefs that are familiar or friendly with a conservative or a liberal? No, those are real things. But when you're talking about like the political parties, they're not actually liberal. They're just tricking people who believe in liberal beliefs into voting for them. They don't really believe in conservative beliefs. They do not follow Christianity. They are liars. They are Luciferian for sure. And they are lying to you. So do not, and it's like, well, then who do we vote for? It's like, that's the problem. The whole voting thing, you're only allowed to vote for Luciferians. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, that's like pretty much it. The entire GOP, Luciferian. The GOP is Luciferian. Now, there are probably some conservative Republicans who aren't evil, but they're very few. And the liberal Democrats, yeah, they're also all fucking Luciferians. You know, you're voting. And the thing is that all like the gay people, all like the LGBTQ folks, all of them are basically experiencing, they don't believe in the Luciferians, because when you start talking about that, you start talking about Christianity, and they're completely estranged from Christianity because of all of the times that the Christians murdered their families. And who really tricked the Christians into murdering their families? The Luciferians. Who's tricking the liberal Democrats into voting for them? The Luciferians. Yeah, so they are fucking brainwashed. And, you know, so are the Christians. So it's not a situation where just because you go to church, you're officially on the good team. It's like, that is not how that works anymore, and hasn't worked since the church was created through the process of hijacking Yahshua's narrative. Jesus, Yahshua, same person, all those many, like over 1,500 years ago, when Constantine took the New Testament, rewrote the whole fucking thing, turned it into the Bible, created the Vatican in order to control the whole Christian narrative, because the Roman Empire that had already fallen was losing control of the population, and the dark priesthood that dominated their culture figured out a very creative trick where they just said, well, we'll just turn that into a religion that we control then, instead of a rebellious movement to save the heart of humanity in the spirit of what Yahshua was warning us about. Jesus was warning us about. And so that's what happened, and that's why you have to worship a fucking symbol of Jesus dying on the cross. That's a symbol of desecration. That is obviously a symbol of desecration. Don't. It's supposed to be an arcane symbol of ascension, not a crucifix with Jesus dying on it. You know, that's fucked up. That sounds like a Satanist trick to me. That sounds like a Luciferian trick to me. And of course the Luciferians would do that because Lucifer the angel is basically trying to smash truth in your face, to wake you the fuck up, you stupid mortals. Because he may be a fallen angel, but he's still a fucking angel. He's a fallen angel, yes, but he's still a fucking angel, and he's an angel of holy light, divine truth. Wake the fuck up, people. And he's so furious about it because they do not wake up that he went evil and was like, fuck it. Let's just go full blown evil. And it's like, well, that's not helpful. and then he curses God, saying, if you just let me mind control the entire population of all of existence, we wouldn't be having this problem. And then God's just like, no, fuck that, because we need that bubbling. We basically need that 2/3 of the entire supercosmos to be bubbling and churning in order to generate that much more existence and reality. Otherwise, you're basically sacrificing those 2/3. And Lucifer's like, yeah, they suck. And it's just like, and then God's just like, yeah, that's not working out. So we're going to change your job. And it's like, we're not changing your title, but we are changing your job. You're going to be working down there now. It's like, this sucks. And it's like, I'm sorry for you. Does that mean that I have a little compassion for Lucifer? Does that mean that I'm allied with the Luciferians? Fuck that. All it means is that I understand them from their religious perspective. It's like, that's not religious. And it's like, they are like the source of religion. So, yes, it is. They're the reason why you have to prostrate in front of a dying ascended master. Like, that is an awful, awful thing to force people to do. It's like, you haven't read the Bible. And it's just like, the Bible was rewritten from the New Testament. They completely reworded it. And it's like, our Lord and Master will never accept you into heaven now because you're a blasphemer. And it's like, whoa, what just happened to you? Did a demon just take over your mental construct because you have been hanging out in a building every week where you have to listen to spells after spells after spells and incantations and rituals specifically designed to keep you in a mind-controlled stupor from Luciferians that controlled your church? When in reality, Yahshua, Jesus, was trying to teach everybody that you can actually have a direct connection with God and that we are all part of the great cosmic connection that is the universe, and that's what God is. It's the ultimate divine, one above all consciousness that we are all part of. And you can includingly commune with Yahshua as a ascended master, higher life form, as he invited all of humanity to do this so that he can guide us and help us understand the path to a greater level of enlightenment so that we can be so bright in our spirit that we can easily commune with the cosmos, with God. And that there is no need for a middleman, a man in front of the room who preaches at you. That it doesn't mean that there aren't purposes for priests. It means that something's fucking wrong with the church. That's what that means. That there is corruption in the church. I mean, that's why the Protestant movement happened. Hello? So are the Christians right? Or are they wrong? That's why I'm talking about this. So the Christians have been bamboozled hardcore for 1,500 years. And they are still being bamboozled now. And part of what's called the Great Awakening is helping our Christian brothers and sisters awaken to the corruption of the church in order to finally defeat it. Because that's pretty much what this war is really about, as far as I'm concerned. Because it's not just about Christianity, it's all of the three primary followers of Abraham religion, the Abrahamistic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Muslim. All three of them are part of exactly the same religion. And they fucking fight against each other because all three religions have become, their leadership has become corrupt and is manipulating everybody in order to fight each other so that they can maintain control and gain power, keep power, and get more of the life force energy in the form of money from these people through the wars. And that's what's going on. And the United Earth Alliance is fighting against that. And the best way to fight against that is through information warfare, through cyber warfare right now, because that we live in the cyber age. We are in the future now. And me telling you all of this is part of the war effort. We are fighting by peacefully telling you the truth. Am I telling you to go out and punch a bunch of people in the face? No. Am I fear-mongering you? Hell no. No, I'm giving you hope, because there are good people out there. I can tell. I've met them. I've seen it. I'm not a bad guy, and I'm grateful to that. And it's like, how do you know? And it's just like, I do good things. I do good things. And I don't really need to verify that with anybody but myself and the great cosmic horizon itself, also known as God. And the angels watch over me, and they know what I'm doing. They know when I screw up, and that happens. And so it's not like I'm perfect. That's not what's fucking going on. Being good and being perfect, two different things. Like I'm not like 100%. I want to be. And I think that's a really nice thing to be. I think that's like what I'm striving for. And I don't think I can easily do that as a mortal being. I'm not sure being a mortal makes that easy, especially since I have to eat other life forms. I don't like that. It's like, well, just eat plants. It's like, they're alive too. It's like, well, just eat bacteria. They're alive too. It's like, you gotta draw, come on. So I think that kind of just talks about that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, and that's good. That's Christianity and then evil and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I did talk about that kind of stuff. So I got 75 new messages, and I'm going to go through all of them. What happened to the timeline anyway? I know something messed up in that stuff. So about the timeline stuff, I'm going to get to the other messages, but I'm going to target this real quick. If you've been hearing about the Mandela effect and the timelines being skewed, don't be fooled by the Illuminati psyop about that. The truth of the matter is that very much like how Aunt Jemima was removed from the syrup bottle, this has been a thing that's been happening for a long time. They just changed the marketing. Somebody has an agenda, and so they convert it. Like that movie with Shazam or whatever, made by Shaq or something, that was real. Nobody fucking there is an original. They have it. Don't fucking believe any of this kind of crap. I was there for that. And so this isn't about the timelines merging or anything. This is about people manipulating history. That's how you change the timeline. They're changing the timeline by changing the text in the history textbooks to be whatever they want it to be so that they can control the future. They're trying to make their own future. They're trying to control the future by changing the past. What they're not realizing is that all they're doing is changing the history records in order to re-navigate us in the direction they want us to move in. But what their failure is that they're not authentically going back in time and changing the actual events. And as a result, they're fucking everything up into a tailspin spiral. And the more records they manipulate in order to make it into their narrative, the worse the situation gets, and they just don't care because they're high as fuck by drinking baby blood. Just fucking assholes.
Wow, that Satanist. Yeah, okay, so that Satanist came back, and I don't know why I believe they're Satanists. I'm just accusing them. I don't really give a fuck, though. I love all of you. I'm gonna ban this person because this person's horrible, and they don't need to be around.
There is not a roach in the room. Yeah, I'm not sorry. That's what you get. Have fun with that.
Barbie, are you a barb? I'm not sure. Someone asks, Viv asks about manifestation. A breatharian. I like that. Please tell me what is to be expected about our country. You are still on, so I'm going to answer this.
We're in a situation where there's a global shadow war going on between positive military forces and basically what amounts to a global corrupt force of evil. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but it really is holy versus evil. It really is the good versus the bad, good guys versus bad guys. It's kind of hard to believe that from teachings that we have incurred, where it's always a matter of perspective. But like from a universal perspective, no, we're fucking talking about authentic universal bad guys. They want to completely corrupt the entire universe, and if they don't get the way that they want it to be, they will destroy the entire universe. Because this universe is horrible, and they want to remake it in their vision. They have a vision of how the universe is supposed to be, and they would destroy the entire universe just to force it to be exactly the way they'd want it to be. And that's really not going to work. And it's kind of cool, because you could go into the Marvel... if you go into Marvel, the superhero comic book lore, the storyline of the character Thanos, and if you've watched the movies like Avengers Endgame or Avengers Infinity War, Thanos, that's what he's doing. He's basically like that. And every storyline about Thanos always revolves around Thanos trying to rewrite the universe because of his belief structure. He thinks he's right and that he can change the universe so that it's good, and he sees the universe as bad now. And that's just from his experiences. And so his experiences has corrupted him to the point where he believes that he has a moral, willpower-based duty to completely rewrite the universe in the vision of perfection that he knows is true. And the problem with that is that every time in the storyline it demonstrates, every time he tries to do that, he succeeds, only to realize that he ultimately fails. And this is a feature of the cyclical nature of the universe that he is part of. And he can't even remove the cyclical nature. If he does that, that also makes the universe fail. Every time he fails, it's brutal for him. It's fucking a brutal experience. And there's a lot of different versions of this where he just basically never truly succeeds, even though he does. He wins only to find out that he was wrong. And so he technically didn't really win. He didn't get what he wanted. And he never gets what he wanted because he can't. And it's a consequence of his essence. I think that. And so like what's going to happen to the country? This is the same mindset as the enemy, the bad guys, as it were. This is their mindset. They want to rewrite the Illuminati. They want to rewrite the entire cosmos. They want to rewrite the Earth. They want to reset the entire planet, global reset. They want to rewrite the entire planet in their vision, in their image, in order to create a perfect world. What they don't realize is that the blood sacrifice that's required for them to do it the way that they can is ultimately part of the storyline and history of how they make the universe that way. And they can rewrite the history books all they want, but it still happened that way. And so this is what they're ignoring. They're ignoring that. They're ignoring that and just basically saying it doesn't matter because the world will be much better anyway. And it's like, it does matter because eventually someone's going to time travel and find out, and that's going to fuck up the whole thing. And it's like, well, then I'll just ban time travel. Somebody's going to fucking do it behind your back, man. It's just going to fuck up. And like that argument goes through infinity. And frankly, there's no convincing them because they are permanently mindset. And so where does this take our country? So the country is in a great spiritual awakening right now. And if the Christians want to survive, and I mean this and believe this wholeheartedly, if the Christians want their fucking belief structure to survive, they're going to have to upgrade. They cannot be in little pansy babyland where it's all about human-centric belief structure and there's no other planets and history started 6,000 years ago. They're going to have to accept the multiverse. They're going to have to embrace the multiverse. They're going to have to embrace a much larger, all-encompassing, massive universe if they want to survive what the Luciferian satanics have in store for this planet. If the Christians want to survive, they have to upgrade. Otherwise, they will never, ever be able to face against the Luciferian evil forces. It's just that way. Does that mean that they have to embrace evil ways? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, that's the opposite of what I'm actually saying. I'm saying that their religion has been hijacked and corrupted by the Luciferians, and if they're going to survive, we need them to upgrade. And this is part of the nation's narrative. This is part of how the nation's going to evolve, because the Christians are the dominating belief structure in our culture, short of those who believe in science and empirical truth, which actually is like a fucking bullshit, to be honest. But I can talk about that. But basically, absolute truth is what's necessary here if we want to fight against these satanic enemies that are literally on the warpath to corrupting the heart of America and the soul of our people. And that's ultimately the battle. And so the Christians can do this by embracing, accepting, acknowledging, and opening up to a much more vast and all-inclusive universe where it's not just humans, it's all life forms. And what do we mean by life forms? Right down to rocks and atoms, all the way up to galaxies and voids. Everything across the cosmos is alive because the life force of existence permeates the universe, and that is part of what makes this universe and the multiverse beautiful. And so if you want, if you want the belief structure of your God being the highest one above all God, bad news if you want to be a human-centric Christian, there is a higher level God than a human-centric God. Bottom line. Because there is a type of one above all God that is all-encompassing of all life forms, not just humans, of all universes, not just ours, of all planets, not just Earth, of all beings, not just white people. So, not sorry at all. And there are many Christians who are going through the spiritual awakening now, and it's a big deal and it's needed. It's a big deal and it's needed. And so this is part of how we're fighting the spiritual war and winning the spiritual war against the satanics, because they can't really compete with that, because they require the Christians to stay in a stupor, to stay stupid about how that stupor of thinking that humans are the best and that we're the only life forms that matter and that all other life forms are subservient to us and don't have souls and don't have experiences, they don't have minds, there's nothing like that. If you have a dog and you love your fucking dog, and you know that your dog is not fucking stupid. I mean, some dogs are stupid and some humans are stupid, so that's a thing. But you know what I mean. They're life forms, they have obvious intelligence, and that's the reason. That's part of the reason why we hang out with them. Just like cats. Cats too. It's a different type of intelligence. I'm not going to say that one is smarter than the other. I will say that they're different. That's pretty obvious. But not all the time, and sometimes they get along very well. And I really like those TikTok videos where dogs and cats are cuddling because they grew up together, and that's really sweet. And I really like that because I want them to be friends, and that's really nice. And so that right there, what I just said, where they're getting along, that's part of this melting pot that America was all about. It's about figuring out how the heck to get humanity to start working together, regardless of all of these egotistical, one-sided cultural anchors that define us. We define ourselves by, well, I'm a Christian. It's like, well, I'm a Democrat. Well, I'm a liberal. Well, I'm conservative. And it's just like, so it's just like the people are identifying on that team, but not identifying as something greater. They're creating this finite aspect of themselves in order to define themselves so that it's easier to basically resonate with others who are like them, have similar experiences. And that's really ultimately where it's at. It's resonating with other people who have similar experiences. And that's super important. But you're probably actually asking, well, what about the war? Like, are we going to win this war? And it's like, ultimately, there's no way that America, as a isolationist nation fighting against the rest of the world, really should win. I don't think. Does that mean I'm not patriotic? No, actually, I think that the belief structure that we should be killing all of the other people and destroying the rest of the people in order to preserve America kind of kills what America is all about. And America is about freedom of who we want and can be and should be. Freedom to be our authentic selves, as opposed to freedom to be like that. That's very vital. And it's a very conflicting notion in the face of certain types of religions that basically are forcing everybody to be, well, you have to be exactly like this. Otherwise, you're not a real human being. And it's like, that's not helping. That's not helping anybody. That's not really helping anybody. So, America's going through a spiritual awakening on a brutal scale, and it's affecting the rest of the world. And the entire planet's going through it too. And we're in a massive battle right now. In those earthquakes that were happening in around New Zealand are not earthquakes. Those were not earthquakes. There's no tsunami. There was supposed to be a tsunami, but there's no tsunami. So that's something else they're fighting. And there's like naval battles going on. So and it's not clear who's fighting who, but we'll find out.
41 new messages. Haven't even finished the last 75. I can explain the difference between the devil, Lucifer, and Satan and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to keep reading, but I'm going to keep that in my mind and definitely talk about it because that's super valuable. Knowing about the fucking forces of evil that we're fighting against as agents, as holy, friendly people, as good people, is super valuable. You want to know, know your enemy. Otherwise, your enemy is going to use the shadows, your lacking of knowledge, to trick you into fighting your friends. So I'll talk about that. I am not living off the grid. You can't. They're polluting the forests. You can't. It's super tough to live off the grid right now. Obviously, I'm not off the grid. You can tell because I'm on the net. Bitcoin is at almost about 6,000, 60,000, and then XRP, I don't know, it says no data. Honestly, expect XRP, the cryptocurrency, to suddenly. I still am pretty confident that they're just going to force boost XRP all of a sudden after they figure out how to crash Bitcoin. So this still hasn't happened yet, but I'm still thinking that that's pretty much what's going on every time I get. Yeah, I'm not being duped. Pakistani kite. I don't know what a Pakistani kite is. I do think Trump probably sold out. If there's two options here. Either Trump sold out, which I think is very likely. And I know that's super sad, but get the fuck off the Trump train and get back onto the awesome train. Get onto the awesome train of America fucking kicking ass. And don't worry about Trump. It's not about Trump. Don't worry about Trump. It's not about Trump. It's about what you were believing in. It's about this awesome, think about all of the reasons why you were going for Trump. And that's really tough though, because you need a leader. And he was supposed to be it. But yeah, I think he kind of sold us out. According to South Park, that's exactly what he did. If South Park isn't lying, then yeah, Trump sold us out. If South Park is under the influence of the Illuminati in order to trick us further, deeper into a psyop, then that is a trick in order to make us believe that he sold us out so that we lose hope, which is very devious and very possible because South Park is a mainstream cartoon and they are definitely under the influence of the Illuminati. So I would not be surprised if that is what happened in that episode. So it's either one of those. But either way, I don't think we should be marrying ourselves to Trump. I think we should be allying ourselves with a belief structure of a United Earth Alliance that America is part of in the spirit of planetary freedom and righteous unity in the name of divine justice against a evil, corrupt force that has been manipulating our population and feeding off of our children's blood. We don't like that. That's not okay. And that's cosmically not really a nice thing. So no. Okay, I have just gotten caught up. I think I missed one. No, I there was one I wanted to point out. Oh yeah, so I'm flash loading again. So I'm going to talk about
a couple of the forces of evil and their deities. So Lucifer is unique out of the entire team of evil deities and entities. Satan and Lucifer are likely the most powerful ones on the list, and the other ones, the worshippers of the other ones would be like, no, mine is, and it's like, yeah, for you, stupid fuckface. But like, Lucifer is definitely the most powerful on the list, and there's very flat out bottom line reason. Lucifer's an angel, and it's like, well, he's a fallen angel, so it doesn't count. It's like, no, he's still a fucking angel, fallen or not. That entity is an angel, and you gotta face facts that Lucifer wasn't replaced with another angel. The job still stands. He just moved to a different office, okay? And so Lucifer is way more powerful than all of the other dark deities because of angel status. Lucifer, as a result, is, as a fallen angel, still is an angel, and thus is the angel of, and is the angel of divine light, truth. And that doesn't mean that he can't create false truth. It means that all forms of truth, all forms of divine truth, Lucifer is in charge of. And thus, Lucifer is in charge of providing divine truth. Whether he has to force you into hell to wake the fuck up or not. And does that mean that Lucifer's a good angel? No, it just means Lucifer's an angel. Does that mean Lucifer's on our side? No, it just means Lucifer's an angel. And that Lucifer still follows angel rules as a manifestation of being a manifestation of an angel. And that's just how it is. Does that mean Lucifer's on our side? Fuck no. No, obviously, fallen angel status. We are in a shitstorm as a result, on a cosmic, super cosmic level. So, those who follow Lucifer have are a very dangerous and special type of evil. It's basically a holy evil. I mean, if you can even imagine that. It's a type of holiness that is corrupt. It is a corrupt form of holy, and that's not holy, to be honest. At that point, we're not talking about a holy being. We're not talking about people who are holy. We're talking about people who perform evil on a holy belief structure line. I'm going to kill all of these people in the name of goodness. And it's just like, that doesn't sound right? It's something's I'm going to let me get a little better on this, or not better. Let me explain a little better with a lot worse. I'm paraphrasing, not me. This person is going to eat all of your babies to teach you a valuable lesson about holy truth. Does that sound good to you? Like that's what's going on there. So, okay, so that's not too hot, not a lot. So that's what Luciferians are like. Luciferians are very good at acting, behaving, and speaking as if they are the best Christians. And in fact, the most holier than thou Christians are actually not Christian at all. They're Luciferian. That's a real thing. So if you ever encounter a Christian who is very, very devout to a holier than thou behavior and belief structure and forces that onto you, that is probably a Luciferian, whether they are aware of it or not. And the higher ranking status people who behave like that more and more, they are more and more Luciferian as a consequence. So that's Lucifer ultimately, and we can get back onto that. But let's go into the other deities. Now I'm going to list 4 primary ones that I've already studied and understand. There's Satan, there's Baphomet, there's Moloch, and then there's Baal. I'm going to start with, let's go right into Satan because that's an easy. Oh, and then there's what a devil is. We can that's just a categorization. It's not like there is one devil. A devil is a type of evil entity that is higher ranking, or rather not just higher ranking, that's not the right terminology. It's more like they are part of a hierarchy of evil. They are orderly evil, evil order, as opposed to demons who are of evil chaos. Demons don't have a hierarchy. Demons don't have order. They're chaos entities. They don't care about order. They just care about what they care about. They're on chaotic whims. Whereas devils work on they work much more in a evil order. They work together in the interest of order of their evil ways. And as a result, Lucifer can control them. And devils can control demons. Does that mean that demons and devils like each other? No. They hate each other. They do not like each other. And the reason why is because demons are tormented by devils. Devils are tormented by other devils. And all devils and all demons are tormented by Lucifer as a leader of the devils, because they are orderly, and as a result of the devils being orderly, Lucifer can control them and manipulate them through manipulative control spells of divine truth, which Lucifer manages. And so this is ultimately how we're talking. What we're talking about? Are we talking good stuff about the evil? No, we're talking about the evil fuckers in the cosmic horizon, how they work, so that you can defend against them with defense against the dark arts magic, which is one of my specialties. I'm an angel magic researcher, and so I know about angel magic. I study and train people in defense against the dark arts to protect you from the forces of evil. So that's part of what I do. I'm JonoThoRa, cyber commander of the United Earth Alliance's StarCom force. So going back to these evil entities, so you know your enemy, you know the bad guys, so you can defend against this using the knowledge. So I just explained what devils are. Devils are entities that are of orderly evil, and they have a hierarchy structure as a result, and are ultimately at the top of that leadership is Lucifer. Now Satan controls the demons, not the devils. And in a very real sense, you can technically say as a result that Satan as a deity, so don't fuck around here, it's deity. Does that mean that Satan is God? I mean, no. There's only one God, actually, and it's the united collective consciousness of the entire multiverse. All of consciousness, all interconnected, all of that cosmic web of divine truth, light, and ultimate being, that is God. Everything, as a result, that is connected to consciousness is God. That's what God is. That's really what God is. And that's why it's impossible to be God, because you basically have to kill the entire multiverse and be the only entity left. But you can't be the only entity left if you kill the entire multiverse. The only way to really pull that off is to merge the entire multiverse together. And there's only one force in the entire multiverse that can do something like that, and it's called love. Do you really think that Satan can do that? You really think Satan can do that, huh? You really, that's gonna work. That's gonna work, sure. Yeah, go on. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking evil shitheads. Have fun with your stupid poop. I'm gonna eat a sandwich. Jeez. So yeah, Satan controls the demons. Lucifer controls the devils. As far as I'm concerned, Lucifer is more powerful than Satan. Now, I'm aware that people have a poop land where they're like, Lucifer and Satan and the devil are all the same thing. And it's like, I just explained how they're not. where Lucifer is an angel that controls the devils. Satan is a demon lord, highest demon lord, who controls the demons. And devils control demons. So as a result, Lucifer pretty much trumps over Satan. Though Satan doesn't give a fuck, because Satan is a chaos evil and doesn't follow the order. Just has to because they're more powerful. So going on, so expanding out of that, then these if we expand out of that, then these ignorant, idiot, asshole, fuckface, stupid, dumb nuts who follow idiotic books created by satanic dipshit fuckfaces who can't stand being so stupid, so they just basically drown themselves in drugs and dumbness. Goodbye. You stupid fucking crap. Someone was on, I just noticed. But basically, these fools who follow people like Aleister Crowley and don't really realize that Aleister Crowley created books that you have to learn a corruption matrix in order to just even understand the text. They worship other deities of evil, such as Moloch or Baal. Now let's get into those, because those are different from Satan and Lucifer, and not as well known by the Christians, but they should be. Baphomet, Baal, and Moloch. Baphomet is very much and very likely Satan. It's just very likely another name for Satan. I hear you. But if you don't accept that, that's okay, because it's a different name, and different names have different sound frequencies, and different sound frequencies represent different entities, and that's the bottom line. Welcome to magic. So Baphomet, as far as I'm concerned, is not Satan. It's a different entity. But there's like a cosmic connection between them. The goat god of malefic cosmic balance. Now this is, I'm not gonna tiptoe here, but instead I'm going to be very specific and dexterous here. So Baphomet is a deity of cosmic balance, and I am an agent of cosmic balance as far as I'm concerned. Does that mean that is my deity of choice? No, because it's a malefic deity of cosmic balance. That part where I said malefic is super important, where we're basically talking about an entity that is not in your best interest. Basically, we're talking about an entity that wants to fuck people over, that wants to screw everything up, that wants to destroy and mess up and corrupt everything using cosmic balance. And so it's not really a positive force for the universe. We're talking about a corrupt force for the universe that uses cosmic balance against the universe. That's ultimately what we're talking about. So it's not a good entity. It's not a good thing that you want to worship. And if you watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the TV show, they actually have an entity that's very much in the flavor of Baphomet in the show. And it's Discord, the character, is very similar in nature to how Baphomet is. We're basically talking about a entity that has a goat for a head and all of these different body parts, and it's very chaotic. I forgot the necessary thing, but right. You have to do sacrifices of various kinds, like goat, animal sacrifices, among other kinds of sacrifices, including people, children, whatever, to Baphomet. And that's what Baphomet's all about. It's about sacrifice. And that's all three of these ones that I'm listing are about sacrifice. So Baphomet, Baal, and Moloch, you always have to sacrifice things like life forms and souls to them ritualistically in order to get what you want from them. And ultimately it's universal bad. And so we're talking about evil. All three of them are malefic. And that's just like, not sorry to tell the truth. Welcome to their shitty belief structures of inferiority, because they don't, they're stuck in it. They think that they're right, but they're actually made out of poop. And, you know, that's not really true. They just feel like they're made out of poop because they're full of shit. And they need to go to the toilet. And there's a toilet, and, you know, so you go to the bathroom, and you release the poop, and you won't be full of shit anymore, and then maybe you won't have a baby diaper times. But for the rest of you, those idiots, they don't know what they're doing. They think they do, you know, sacrificing their newborn babies, but they're really making bad choices. So continuing on for the future of this, getting out of Baphomet, the goat god, then you have, then you have Moloch. Moloch is strictly a god of child sacrifice. Like, you literally have a golden statue, a hollow golden statue that you turn into a furnace that burns so hot, and it has these hands that cusp out, and then you put the newborn babies onto those hands that are like cooking at like 200 degrees Celsius, and then you cook, and that's called spirit cooking. And so you're cooking the spirits of the babies. And they would do these big boom, boom, boom drums in order to make it so nobody can hear the cries of the children. And that's still going on to this day. And it happens in the shadows. I can explain that later, how they're still around. And but let's finish off with Baal, Lord Baal. And you call him Lord with capital letters, Lord, capital letters, Lord Baal. I wonder what book called the Bible was rewritten in order to manipulate everybody into worshiping Lord Baal, because you only call Lord Baal Lord, not by his name Baal. You call him Lord, and you only call him Lord with capital letters, and you only say it with a certain connotation, like, oh, Lord. I wonder what religion got corrupted and forces everybody to have capital letters Lord Baal to replace the original name in the text, and then basically burn every other version of that book so that there's only one version of that book left, so everybody has to worship Lord Baal without realizing they're worshiping Lord Baal. Luciferians control the whole thing. And the reason why that's happening is because they're trying to force the population awake with the evil. At the highest levels, that's really what the Illuminati are trying to do. Which is why they haven't killed us. That's why they have not killed us all yet. Because they are technically identifying themselves as a force for good, and they'll sacrifice their lives the moment that they realize that humanity's ready. But frankly, we still got all these dumb shits who, you know, don't really realize the severity of the situation. And I mean, I'm not really cool with what they're doing to our people, but I am aware of the logic behind, the fake logic behind why they think this works. And their mindset is like, as long as evil is intrinsic in the universe, we might as well use it because it is here. And it's like, that's just perpetuating the evil. Like, I don't think that's a really good idea, because that's cascading our universe into the outer realms of the multiverse until we get completely dissolved into the great void. And I don't think that's a really good thing to, like, that's literally hell. So please, no. I'd rather go into the center, or hover in between in the vast color field of the in-between. No. So I'm going to read people's things now that I pretty much covered all of those entities.
No, Christianity's not bad. But it has been hijacked by the Luciferians. So, frankly, just... the best thing you can do about it is to just simply identify that holy people are real, and you should just trust in the hearts of people that you meet, as long as you can tell. As long as you do your best, learn about discernment, and don't fall for evil traps. Do your best, don't be duped, don't fall for evil traps. It's easy for a Pisces to do that. I have a lot of Pisces, and so I would know. And talking from experience, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, the sandwich is really good. It's cold because I got it a while ago, but it's actually, you know what? I've had better ones, but I'm enjoying it. It's very, very positive. Oh, what is the point of sacrifice? So, souls on a cosmic level are very valuable, and entities that are basically devils, for example, devils are an excellent example. No, demons are an excellent. Let's talk about demons, because demons are a much better example than devils. We can get into devils because they're higher level, but demons like to eat souls. For no reason besides a raw desire of lust and the experience of eating. But the problem is that there is no satisfaction. Once the demon has a soul eaten, that soul is gone. And as a result of that soul being gone, there is no more soul left, and the belly of the demon remains empty, and thus the demon is hungry instantly again. And so even if you sacrifice a soul to a demon, it doesn't matter, because the demon will just simply be hungry forever. So that's why demons feed off of souls, but it's never satisfied. That's why you can have a demon leached onto your soul and constantly sucking on it, but it's never satisfied, it never goes away. It's a parasite. Or if it's that type of demon. Now, devils are much higher level. Devils don't eat souls. Devils eat demons. And so devils farm demons, but demons feed off of souls. If they don't have souls to feed off of forever, then they don't really get to survive. And so devils are much worse in that aspect, because devils require legions of demons or legions of other devils who are controlling legions of demons to feed off of massive numbers of souls. And this is how that whole situation. So this is why deities like to sacrifice, that they require those sacrifices, because you can manifest a demon into being in your environment, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional in nature, or even all of the above, which actually would amount to a deity, obviously, or something like that. Digressing, the sacrifice of these souls, this physical body, this mental being, this emotional being, this physical being, and the spiritual being, if you sacrifice that to a deity, you're basically sacrificing the absolute essence of whatever it is that you're sacrificing. And there's a currency exchange. So that deity will give you something for that. But there's something that they don't talk about. And when I say they, I'll be specific. The worshippers of corrupt, malefic deities. There's something that they don't talk to themselves about that occurs when you as a person chooses to do something like this, and your soul inherits corruption as a result of this action. So yes, you get the thing that you wanted from the dark deity, but the consolation is that now that is an action that your soul has on its record, and your soul has now gotten that corruption of that experience, of that truth, and you can wipe it from your mind,
you can ignore it all you want, you can forget about it and rewrite the history books, but it doesn't matter because it still fucking happened. And so on a cosmic plane, in the ledger of the universe itself, it still fucking happened, and as a result, that soul has become corrupted. And so this is why doing such things kind of pretty much gets you into hell, and that you start experiencing hell because you've incurred that on your soul, and it's a extreme price that is very difficult to redeem on a cosmic level. So that's ultimately what that is. I think I kind of answered it.
What is the point of sacrifice? That's the point of sacrifice is to get power or to get something that you want by sacrificing something else. It's especially something that you love. Yeah, Alistair basically made his own religion. Magic is not bad or good. Magic is magic. For example, there's angel magic. That's not bad. That's holy. There's holy magic. Flat out. There's holy magic. Okay, I'm going flash load.
Oh, and it's a spinach feta wrap from Starbucks. It's not, I mean, I have a very loose terminology of what a sandwich is. Is it like a traditional sandwich? No, it's totally not. Actually, I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I need another bathroom. Ask questions.
I've turned. Oh, good. I think mermaids are probably a thing. I'm not sure if they actually exist, but I don't see how they can't. Especially if they have gills. I would not be surprised if they were mermaids, but then we killed them all. I'm gonna be sorry. I've trouble when I hear that kind of question, but it's not you, it's me, and it really is. And I know that sounds like a breakup thing, but like in reality, it's my own trauma from experience of fanatic Luciferian Christians using this term. Do you feel Christ will come back within our lifetime? Do I think you're Luciferian? Actually, no, I definitely don't, because I think you're on my feed. I think you're okay. But I am saying that Luciferians have used that a lot. So it's important to know that Christ, the word Christ, is a hijacking of the original name of Yahshua in order to divert from the original name. That happened way back in 498 AD when the Emperor Constantine, who controlled the remnant of the Roman Empire, took the New Testament, rewrote it, transformed it into the Bible, and created the Vatican in order to destroy Christian following. And back then they didn't call it Christ. They followed Yahshua, and he was Christ. And so the image of who we are seeing as Jesus
as Christ, the image of who Jesus Christ is actually, that's the image of Constantine. He rewrote the entire narrative and forced everybody to believe it. And it wasn't really him. I mean, this happened over the course of like 1,000 years of darkness. And so, yeah, that's really what happened there. That's not really what your answer question is. And so I'm going to go back, because that was like, that's padding for really understanding how to understand what it means for Yahshua to return. And what does that mean when the Messiah returns? And so it's important to understand that the scripture has been rewritten and hijacked and corrupted by the Luciferians. So we don't really know exactly what's going to happen, and that's why we don't really know, because the narrative has been corrupted so badly. But there's a couple of things that I've gathered that are pretty spot on. One of the things is that's pretty flat out is that the church will be raptured away like a thief in the night. And so the church is corrupt. And so it's very likely when they say that, that really means that the Luciferian church of corruption is going to be taken away in a very sneaky manner overnight without anybody really realizing it, like a thief in the night. And that's what the rapture is. And the rapture is really about taking away all of these Luciferian satanic idiot people, evil people, who are trying to do this evil deed. And these prophets have foreseen this event from a long time ago and created scripture in order to manifest it into truth and reality. And the forces of evil didn't like that and tried to rewrite the scripture only to manifest it into reality as a result of of writing themselves into the story. It's really stupid that they did that. They didn't, talk about people who don't understand magic performing magic. Like, they really screwed that up for themselves and everybody else. Obviously from news articles coming from Israel, their Messiah is returning, and that means the Antichrist is about to be revealed. And so we're in a shitstorm right now. So I'm not going to talk about whether or not Yahshua is going to return, but obviously the Antichrist is being prepared to return, or to be. They're manifesting the Antichrist. And so that's part of what's going on. Like right now. No, so Obong 6 Waterdime, you pretty much never have dumb questions, so you don't have to worry about that. What does it mean when people sell their souls? They're basically, so when you sell your soul, you're basically selling the essence of who you are, and thus, as a result, people like you cease to be in this reality. That's what it means. And so when you do that, you're giving that personological essence of the type of person you are and selling it to a deity for another experience. And as a result, you cease to be, pretty much. That's what happens. And you get taken over, and you're basically trading who you are for being somebody else entirely, authentically. Unfortunately, that uses chaos black magic, and chaos black magic has like a 99.9 with a line over % chance of
going bad. It's like a monkey's paw kind of thing. You know, it's like if you take the monkey's paw and you say, I want a new desk. Who's going to give it to you? What's the desk made out of? Is the desk gonna catch on fire? You don't know. like you got to be careful with these kinds of things, and you got to be very, very specific, like extremely so. And it's like the level of extremity of specificness has to be so specific that you're dealing in only absolutes, and there's no way for the spell to go wrong. And that's very hard to do. And that's something that Aleister Crowley was actually particularly good at. And that's why he was able to get away with all of his evil, because he understood what I just said, where if you sell your soul, you better fucking know exactly what kind of chaos black magic that you want to succeed. You better know your ways around that before you make a deal like that. And even then, it doesn't matter. He's still fucking miserable as fuck. He's still in hell. He's just a he's just a high-ranking devil in hell, you know? So like that's what he got. And so in a way, he got what he wanted, and whoop-de-doo, still in hell. Okay, flash loading. And that was a sloth. Let's go back to the sloth. Okay, here we go. I think, so the patent, I would not be surprised if the patents for the, I'm not sure if you mean patent or parent or patient. No, you probably mean patent. I think you're spelling that correctly. So if you mean patent, Essek, God of the Sun, if you're talking about some patent require a sacrifice, I would not be surprised if that's true. Actually, I would not be surprised at all if that's actually and authentically true. If patents require some sort of ritualistic sacrifice in order to acquire the patent. And that's why people steal patents, and that's why people get away with stealing patents, because they're sacrificing the original genius who figured it out, so that they could be the one who gets the patent and thus gets the power. God, that fucking sucks. Huh. Oh. That sucks. Yeah, I think that's true. That sucks. I'm just having an awareness of like people I've met and experiences that I've had in my professional field with people who have had patents and realizing, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there's good holy magic and there's black magic and everything in between. And it's not like you can't use, remember that black magic and white magic is not the same thing as evil magic and holy magic, which is not the same thing as good magic or bad magic, which is not the same thing as light magic and dark magic, which is not the same thing as light magic and shadow magic. See that? See, there's all kinds of different flavors of these types of magic. And those are just like the magic between, and there's gray magic, you know? So there's all of these shades of gray, including absolute white and absolute dark, black, and absolute evil and absolute holy, and everything in between. And then that's not even involving the colors. And so when you get into colors, now you're talking about harmonic elemental magic. When you do colors, that's elemental magic, and you're talking about earth, wind, earth, air, fire, and water. And so that's like a blue, red, green, and yellow, and all of the colors that you can produce from that. And that's the color wheel. And so, and then you can merge that with value. And so there's value where it's white to black and everything in between. And then there's the color wheel, which are, you know, it's all the colors. And if you take all of the colors combined with the value,
Then now you can do holy elemental magic, where it's a white fire, light fire, good fire, holy fire. See that? But then there's evil fire. See that? So fire isn't intrinsically evil, but you can cast it with a value of black magic. And so it's fire, elemental, black magic, evil. And so yes, you can do that. And just like the holy fire, so you can have them basically fighting each other. So, and that has to do with positive and negative forces, constructive and destructive forces, resonance and dissonance, clarity and distortion, order or chaos. And remember, order and chaos, by the time I got there, once it just said order and chaos, I had gotten so far away from evil and holy as a concept that, remember, there's such thing as evil order and holy order. There's such thing as evil chaos and holy chaos. The truth of this is that if you want to fight evil order, you use holy chaos. If you want to fight evil chaos, you use holy order. And this is part of how the spellcraft works. It's all about this merger of multiple dimensional dualities against each other in order to figure out exactly what is the counterforce, what is a harmonic force, what is a challenging force, what is a dissonance force, and understanding the geometry, because it's literally geometry. It's all based on math. And so understanding the geometry of how these different dimensions of spellcraft work against each other or with each other helps you understand what kind of magic to fight an opponent with, if they are your opponent. And so, for example, angel magic, there is not a single malefic, hostile spell in a book of angel magic. It's all about lifting a curse. It's all about protecting you. There is no such thing as if you curse me, the curse bounces off me and now you're cursed. That's not how angel magic works. Angel magic works a lot more of purification of the whole thing. I have an absolute divine light that cannot be penetrated by any curse. Curses basically burn and dissolve away in my divine soul light. And that's how angel magic works. And you literally have angel entities channeling through you, with you, bonding with you, connecting through you, resonating with you, to enable this and empower this to an absolute cosmic scale where no witchcraft on an interpersonal or localized earthly level could possibly penetrate. It's impossible because of how much more powerful angels are as cosmic entities. That's why angel magic really authentically is the most powerful form of magic when fighting against the forces of evil. And that's why Defense Against the Dark Arts, you must learn angel magic if you really want to fight against the most dangerous forms of evil magic. It's vital. And so only recently did I really understand that. I never really grasped that, but now I do. And as a result, now I understand, like in Harry Potter, there's this one spell called I think it's called the Patronus spell, where you create this beautiful, you cast this beautiful spiritual, I don't know, basically like a light spirit to completely dissolve and fight against malefic, intention-based magics. It's real. Oh, right. It was designed to fight against those like the dark spiritual entities. And so like that's a perfect example of holy angel magic. And holy angel magic includes spellcraft where you literally charm your satanic enemy. And it's like, why would you ever do that? Well, they are incompatible with charms. It doesn't help them.
they are incompatible with that. And it disarms them. It's the same thing as disarming them from using their black magic. If they try to use their black magic, they are charmed by an angel magic user, and as a result, their black magic is significantly weakened because they like you as a result of the charming. And they have to basically re-corrupt their mindset about you with another dark spell. And that means they have to cast a black magic spell on themselves, which drains their own energy at the same time as attacking themselves with black magic. And so it's like a double whammy in order to undo the charm. And then as a result, they now can attack you again, but they're drained of magic and they just attacked themselves, all of which takes time for you to do another angel cast. And I can hear them being like, and I'm like, my, you have such a beautiful outfit. You're looking great today. You have to mean it though. You can't just charm them but lie, because that's black magic. You have to actually, the charm has to be authentic. You actually have to appreciate them for real, for the charm to be real, because it's psychic. I think that covers some of the stuff I was talking about. Yeah, like those other Christians that are hateful, that's kind of fake Christian. I mean, it's not like you can't, believe in the holy fight, but when they get trapped in that hate, they're part of, no, that's not what I was going to say. I mean, they're part of something, but I'm not going to say it that way because that's going to do you an injustice, and I sense that, and that's not fair. And instead, I really want to get the point across where they have been trapped in a hate spell by the forces of evil, and it's a sad ordeal when they have been entrapped like that. And you can free them using light magic in the form of good words and just absolute truth. But it's only a matter of time until they go back home and they have to listen to their husband and say, yes, dear. Or they have to go back home and get beatings from their parents in order to re-believe what they're supposed to believe because their parents said so. Talk about sacred geometry. I might. I'm gonna flash load and see. Excuse me. I'm gonna flash load and see what other people said. But in the meantime, sacred geometry is something I don't actually know too much about. I know around it. I know of it. You can use it to prove that cosmic entities exist. It explains the generation of the universe at various stages. And that's about it that I know. Hollywood's definitely corrupt. Yeah, for sure. Totally believe it. I don't just believe it. It's I'm flat out sure of it. Oh, that's amazing. So you're asking about all of this because you've been told that we're not supposed to mess with magic. And that's... I'd like to riddle you this. If there's such things as angel magic, and the angels would like and encourage us to use it to not just help ourselves, but save the entire universe from corruption, and that it's generally good for us,
and learning angel magic is good for us. Why is it so hard to find angel magic and so easy to find black magic? And then furthermore, I wonder what evil force that already uses magic, I wonder wouldn't the forces of evil trick the population into believing that magic isn't real, so that they, the evil, are the only ones who can use magic in order to control the population, for them to persevere, to preserve, to perpetuate their evil. So I would say the answer is 100% duh. Like, of course, black magic wielders would want to make sure that their opponents, white magic wielders, light magic, evil people, would want holy people to not use magic. Evil magic users would not want holy people to use magic, because holy magic wielders use angel magic, which is the most powerful form of magic in the cosmos. And angel magic, the most powerful form of magic in the cosmos, is flat out one of the most, is pretty much forbidden for the forces of evil to use for their purposes, because if they try to use angel magic, it'll fucking undo all of their evil corruption magic, because that's what angel magic is for. Angel magic is for undoing corruption, undoing dissonance, undoing destruction, and creating clarity, purity, love, and resonance throughout the cosmos. That's what angel magic is for. And so anybody who wants to perpetuate their black evil magic does not want holy people to use holy magic. They don't fucking want that, because if Defense Against the Dark Arts people use holy magic of angel magic type against their forces, there's nothing they really can do to stop it, because it's, once again, the most powerful form of magic across the cosmos. They're screwed, and they're screwed by default. And it was their fault for frickin' doing the evil magic in the first place. So I would definitely say that narrative is coming from the forces of evil, and it's not the people who echo it, even though they're kind of echoing it, and they're a little, they're running off of fear, and fear is a spell created by the forces of evil. They're afraid of magic, and so they tell you not to use it, because they don't understand it, and so they don't understand it. What do they not understand? That there's angel magic. They don't understand that there's holy and evil forces in play, and that we have a duty as beings of this planet to save the planet. And the angels are asking of this, and we can work with the angels. How? Through magic. And what is the name? What do we call magic rituals where you invoke angels? There's a word for that. It's called prayer. That's what a prayer is. A prayer is a magic spell where you pray. Prayer, you talk to angels, and you talk to God, and through to the angels, they help us, and they help us cure the planet of corruption. And that's ultimately what prayers are. And that's spellcraft. When you go to church, that whole fucking thing is spellcraft. It's a ritual that you do every week, and you do prayers, which are spells, every time. Spellcraft, the whole thing.
Oh, here we go. You are welcome to the knowledge. Angel magic is good. Prayers can cure, correct. And it's, it's not about whether or not you're a Christian, by the way. This is so important. Christianity does not have like the copyright to communing with the cosmos. There's an infinite number of deities, of cosmic forces, of gods, and demigods, spirits, and entities abound, including the collective consciousness, including the collective consciousness of humanity, which is a subset of the collective consciousness of all life. And so it's important to understand that Christianity doesn't have the copyright to access to holy entities. Every religion that has evil entities, every entity that's part of a dichotomy where there's evil and holy forces, good and bad entities, can access that. So even if you're satanic and you're a satanic religious, if your religion is satanic, then there's a counter religion for that. So even if your entire religion is drenched in only holy or drenched in only evil, and that's the only thing in your particular religion, there's a counter religion to that. And that's just part of and the nature of duality. And so that's just a feature of existence there. Come, throw this out. You are all welcome. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Oh, good. No, it's okay. So questions. So far, people who ask me magic questions like, do you know how I should pray? These are like actually very intelligent, inflective, self-aware questions. And so I really appreciate these kinds of things because I really like the opportunity to not form a religion on my TikTok and instead empower you with the understanding of how to approach that without falling into a cult. And so you can pray any way you want. You can do prayer any way you need to. And frankly, every individual, every psychic being, and you're psychic if you've had dreams. If you've had dreams, that means your pineal gland is functional. That means your third eye is working. And so you're psychic. And as a result, you're connected to the collective consciousness. Let me get some water. And so I do prayers now. I used to not really do prayers, but that's changed big time. And it's really helped my soul feel better. It's kind of weird how it feels. It's definitely not a physical feeling. Oh gosh, so good. So the answer to that is, I guess it's a recommendation request for how to pray. So right now, I am learning how to pray to angels of various kinds. I got, so I can give you recommendations, and that's one way to go. And that will help you figure out what way you would like to learn how to do prayer. And let me show you how I'm learning. I got tarot cards. So if you're Christian and you want to do prayer, you're already on the prayer team. So if you're Christian, you already can just do the prayers to God. You just pray to God. You don't have to go through Yahshua or Jesus. You don't have to do that. Don't pray to Christ. Not sorry. I know everybody's like, hey, the Christ consciousness. And it's like, yeah, that's, be very careful with that whole belief structure. But that's just my limited, I can sense that I have some limit on my perspective of what I'm talking about. Because I understand what they're saying, that it's really Yahshua and the collective consciousness of who Yahshua was. And everybody else who believes in that, and the holy truth, the holy light, and all that kind of stuff. But after learning the origin of the word Christ coming from that's like the name, that was the title and rank of the remnant Roman Empire's leadership. It basically means the same thing as the Caesar, as the leader of the Roman Empire. There's like a title that they have. Anyway, I'm learning from this book right now called Angel Tarot. It's not a book, actually. I mean, it's got a book in it. And so like that's part of how I'm learning. But this is Angel Tarot, and it's got like it's got 72 angels, but it's got actually 78 cards. So it's got 78 cards of various different types of angels, and there's actually way more angels than that. And it just basically talks about all these different types of angels in this one tarot set. So if you're into tarot, or you want a holy version of tarot, this is a really good set to do that. And it's like you can use it, no, I'm using it, as flashcards to learn about the angels. So every angel has a different purpose, and that helps you channel the various versions of entities across the cosmic horizon. And that will help you channel these forces that can converse with you back. And you can create affinities with specific angels. And frankly, everybody already has affinity with angels now. And so whoever you are as a person, there's a flavor, there's a color expression of people. Every person has a color expression, and there is an angel for that particular color expression. So we all have guardian angels that represent us. We all have oversouls. We all have other versions of ourselves across reality. So prayer is far more expansive than just talking to God, or just talking to deities, or just talking to angels. Prayer expands even to talking to other versions of yourself across reality, and other people who are like you across reality, right to the point where you can even psychically communicate with other people who are part of your spirit family, who are alive here on Earth in this reality during your time. So you could even do that. And all of this is part of this overall psychic communication that prayer is included on the list of. And so you can pray to the collective consciousness of all versions of yourself. Like for me, I can pray, I can commune with the Tho'ra continuum of all Thoras, not just JonoThora, but all other Thoras too, across the cosmic horizon. And that Tho'ra continuum empowers me to make decisions in the interest of who Thoras are and what we are, and figure out like what we want to be and who we are supposed to be. And that's me communing with other entities with my color expression of what my soul is, the color of your soul, as it were, as it is. So that's what that means. So understanding that as the foundation helps you understand what prayer is, how it works, and thus gives you a much better understanding of what you're really doing, why you're doing it.
And why you're doing it, you're trying to get guidance. You're trying to figure out stuff. And how can you start this? It's very easy. It's literally talking with yourself. You talking with yourself. Literally talking with yourself. There's a reason why the forces of evil have created a narrative that people are crazy when they talk to themselves. They don't want people doing that because that helps them escape the mind control network of cultural oppression that the forces of evil have created for the planet. That's ultimately what's going on there. That's why it's crazy to talk to yourself, because they don't want that. And so talking to yourself is actually really healthy, it can be a very, you see, I had to fix that. It can be a very healthy, constructive thing to do. And how is it healthy and constructive? If you ensure that the conversations that you have with yourself is healthy and constructive. You don't attack yourself. You're only talking to yourself to figure something out. You're talking to yourself in a positive, constructive way. You're not abusing yourself verbally or physically or emotionally, mentally, no abuse. And you're nurturing your future, your life with the words. And you can ask yourself questions, and then you can answer the questions. And by doing that, you're channeling at least yourself. So you can even make prayers with who you are in this reality now. You can pray, you can commune with yourself in the past as a child, with your present self, and with your future. So it's not just reality, it's destiny. You can converse with other versions of yourself that have followed different destinial pathways throughout existence and say, did that work out? No. Do not kick that boy in the nuts. Do not kick that boy. Oh. It's like you are going to get arrested like fucking crazy. There's a police cop behind you right now. Do not kick that boy in the nuts. You don't see the police cop yet, but he's going to come around the corner and you're going to get fucked. Do not kick him in the nuts. Don't kick him in the nuts. I'm in jail from a future that you don't want to exist. Don't kick him in the nuts. Okay? That's how that works. That's how that works. And that's just you conversing with yourself across the cosmic horizon. Now let's talk about, we know that, yeah. And so that's conversing with yourself across time and space, other realities, other destinies. And you can do the same with other very different versions of who you are, to the point where they're not you. Like I convert, like you can talk, for example, I talk with other Tho'ras who aren't Jono. There's other Tho'ras with other names, and I can converse with them. Do I look crazy to other people who don't understand how to do that? Yeah. Do I do that in front of them? No. Why? Fuck that. So if you want to do this, it helps a lot in our day and age to converse with your other entities or whatever you find in private. It's private time, and this is a private conversation. So if you want to do it out loud, and it's a lot easier to do it out loud, do it by yourself. If you can't do that, nothing stops you from talking to yourself in your head quietly. And if there's nobody close by, you can mutter and talk to yourself out loud quietly. You can whisper or something. Not even whisper, mutter is very more effective. And the same goes for talking to dark forces as well. Nothing stops you from consciously making the choice to talk to a dark entity. So it's not a situation where everything that you can talk to is good for you, which means that you need to be aware that you can make the mistake of talking to entities that are bad for you, that are malefic, that are evil, and that is also just as possible. You can talk with demons, you can incur demons, and you can cast demons into your being by
by saying fucked up things to yourself. That's everything you say, all words, that's spelling, spells, spellcraft. You're crafting spelling, words. Words are spells. Sentences are spells. My speaking right now. When you speak, your texts, all of this, spellcraft. That is how it works. It's how it works. It's what it is. It is what it is. And so that understanding of what I just said really unlocks the awareness that everybody is already well versed on this planet for spellcraft because we do it all the time. And so you already know how to do it. And so once again, going back to understanding how to discern against holy and evil, malefic and benevolent entities to commune with, make sure that you're making the conscious decision to communicate with benevolent forces. Make sure that they are benevolent. What does that mean? That means they are good for you and they are not bad for others and yourself. They are just in it for doing universal good of all. That's it. You don't want to get the other ones because they're just going to fuck up your life. Bottom line. Why? Because they're dissonant. It's a feature of their cosmic nature. And if you do it the correct way, if you only commune with benevolent, then that gets you there. If you're worried about already communicating with malefic forces, it's actually very easy to simply just identify that you've been doing that, accept that that was true, and then make the decision to from now on commune with benevolent forces and decrease your communication with malefic forces down to zero. And that might be a process. You might be able to do it cutthroat and just fucking do it right away. But you can do it, and you will do it if you really need to, if you want to. And this includes yourself, because there are malevolent and benevolent versions of your own self across the infinite subsets of who you are as a person. There are, imagine communicating with an evil version of yourself and asking them for advice about what you should do, or contacting a holy version of yourself and asking what you should do. And that's the same thing as the devil and the angel on your shoulder talking on your left and right side, saying whatever they want to say about whatever you should do. And that's the same as you communicating with the evil and holy versions of yourself. And if you are a person who finds yourself trapped in this echo chamber between those and you never know what the correct decision to make is, flick them off and realize that there are an infinite subset of other versions, all with different colors besides black and white. And instead now identify that there's a full color wheel of versions of yourself that you can communicate with. And there are a small infinite subset of versions of yourself who are exactly like who you are, and you can talk with them exclusively. And by doing that, you can talk to yourself and figure out what you should do, what you want to do, and what's best for you right now, without that noise from the angel and the demon fucking ruining your life by just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying this. Good. Yeah, Bible beaters that don't, don't forget about, the Bible beaters, like the Bible thumpers. The Bible beaters. There's a better word for it, actually, Bible beaters, because they're beating up the Bible all the time by the rhetoric. Oh man, these idiots with their sin. They don't fucking understand. Are you even still on? You are still on. Dude, you gotta get off of that. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted. I think you're actually saying that Tarot's not a sin. Did someone else say that? Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I wasn't reading. I also have an emotional thing because I'm kind of defensive about the tarot. It's super important to know about this, so I'm gonna touch on this. Everybody, forgiveness all forgiven, all light. Everybody's good. So I gotta talk about the tarot here because you can use it for evil, and I'm also gonna flip the screen. No, I'm not going to cancel. I'm going to flip the screen because I like it this way. Okay, here we go. So, the tarot. I once encountered an Illuminati illuminist who specialized in tarot mind control, where they use tarot cards to mind control you through hypnosis and change your destiny. It is the most evil fucking mind manipulative asshole bullshit I've ever encountered, and I fucking fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And I cured myself of the parts of the spell that worked, but it still, the raw experience of being attacked by tarot mind control has changed me forever. Because now I am very aware that you can use it for such extreme forms of evil. MK Ultra, the most powerful version of MK Ultra that I've ever heard or learned about is the tarot mind control version. Like, there are other versions that use psionic weapons technology that are very powerful too, and they work very effectively. But if you put tarot mind control with psionics weapons technology and combine the two of them, that is exceptionally more powerful. And so you can totally use tarot cards by counting the cards, by knowing what card's going to show up, by organizing the cards without shuffling. You can do a lot of nasty, sneaky tricks to mind control a person into forcing them into emotional states that you want them to be in. It is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen or heard of. And a lot of practitioners don't want to know that because they are defensive of their tarot practices. But what they need to understand, with other tarot practitioners like myself need to understand, is that no, you can definitely use it for evil. You can totally manipulate somebody else's destiny by creating a narrative for them against their best interests. And that is not okay. And so a word of warning to everybody, Tarot is just a card system based off of a harmonic mathematic network of concepts and experiences that people can have in life. And it allows you to divinate, and it allows you to predict and foresee. It allows you to understand and know things that have happened, that may happen, or are happening. That's ultimately what it's for. That nothing there that I said is really good or evil, but you can use it for evil by saying, I want to know these things so that I can fuck this other person's life up. That's kind of evil. I'm going to set these cards up and then do tarot for somebody else to fuck up their life. You know, that's malefic, that's malicious, that's evil. So yeah, it can be used for evil. And that's ultimately what's going on. The Illuminati do this. They know all about it. That's why they have a subset of illuminists in their organization
who specialize in Tho'ra hypnosis. Really fucked up crap. And as a result, there's another side of it, which is holy. There's holy Tho'ra, angel Tho'ra. That's why I got the angel Tho'ra, because I wanted to focus on a holy version. I wanted to get the defense against the dark arts version of these cards. And there's oracle cards too, same deal. And there's black magic tarot. That exists. There's a variety of black magic tarot cards that specialize and are specific for black magic users who are just doing malicious deeds for the sake of malefic desires, such as vengeance or just wickedness. And that's ultimately what it is. It's corruption from trauma. Trauma causes the corruption because the trauma corrupts them. It fucks them up. Trauma fucks you up. And that results in corruption and pain, suffering, and that results in malice, hostility, vengeance. They become very sensitive to certain topics and they don't want to heal from it. And that resistance to healing it causes further damage because they ultimately identify with their wounds. They identify themselves, they create egos about them being damaged people because it gives them power over other people. It's like, I'm damaged, and so you have to be careful and tiptoe around me. And that whole thing is very toxic. And so I kind of strayed away from the tarot, but that's okay because this is all very important. This is all very important knowledge for defense against the dark arts kind of stuff. Like you need to know these kinds of things. You need to understand how to identify these kinds of people to defend yourself in this very vital time that we live in, because we do live in a time of a great awakening and there is a spiritual war going on. And it's the cyber warfare that's happening, the information warfare, is part of a war on the mind of humanity. And it's affecting the heart of humanity, our emotions, and our spirit is thus being attacked. So this is a very trying time. So understanding how to identify the forces of evil is vital for winning against the forces that would destroy this world using the hand of humanity. So yeah, tarot cards are a tool and they're a magic tool. How you use the magic is up to you. And so the magic isn't holy or evil. It's how you use the magic. It's the intention behind the magic. Is it malefic or benevolent? Are you using the magic for purely benevolent purposes? Are you using it for just personal gain at the expense of others? Or are you thinking about the greater good, including yourself, not sacrificing yourself so that others may have a good time? That's not okay either with the cosmos. The cosmos doesn't like that either because there's still this intention of hurting yourself for doing good for the others. That self-sacrifice is not really accepted as much as it being good for everybody, including you, especially because you're the one doing the good. As it should. Oh yeah, tarot cards are connected with harmonics. Very. I haven't figured out exactly how, but they're definitely there's numerology deeply embedded in tarot cards. So there's this deep sense of numerology in the tarot cards, and that's part of how that all works. Yeah, I'm still not exactly sure about the ear ringing thing. Frankly, after learning about all of the psionics weapons technology, I'm actually much more inclined to believe that the ringing in the ear might actually be psionic weapons being used in your local environment. I also have a belief that, and these are speculations, I don't know if any of this is true. So if it's not psionic weapons, which definitely can be, I would not be surprised if like a nuclear bomb goes off somewhere across the planet, that causes an EMF frequency ripple that then creates the ping. And I also believe that the pings, the ringing in our ears, can also be caused by cosmic events where planets align just right to create a knot of electromagnetic frequency that snaps, and that snap creates a ripple, and that ripple is the ringing that we're hearing. So it could be any of those, and I think it's all of those, and I never know which one it is. I do not know monarch control. Okay, so Brick Bitters asks, how did I cure myself? I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about for the cure. But I'm not sure exactly what you mean specifically, but you asked it in a very general way, so I could answer it in a very general way after drinking some water. There's a lot of ways that I've cured myself. And a lot of ways that I didn't cure myself, but I got cured. And what I'm about to talk about, I'm going to combine what I just said with the shadow work question. So how did you cure yourself? What is shadow work? That's like answering a Jeopardy question. The cure for yourself. What is shadow work? That's the Jeopardy answer to the cure. I did shadow work. So I can talk about all of this, and I will. It's not just shadow work necessarily, but it's that way. So I cured myself by a number of methods. Predominantly, I got cured through experiences that I accidentally asked the cosmos for, and they delivered. So I wanted proof that the Illuminati were real, and that I wanted a reason. There's a bunch of questions that I got my answers to. I wanted a reason to live. I wanted an answer for why there's evil, and are they actually real. I wanted to know what the heck's going on, and I got my answer in the form of Freemason organization, a local Freemason organization cult tried to indoctrinate me because I had figured out the cosmic cipher. And by learning about the cosmic cipher, I proved to myself that meaning is intrinsic in the universe. And by learning that, and by wanting attention online and recognition, that caught the attention of the Illuminati and made a local sect of Freemasons aware of me and try to indoctrinate me so that they can control me. Because they don't want somebody who knows that much about the cosmos to be able to save the planet and to stop them, basically. But, it's a little too late, because I already created the sacred documents, put them online, and the AI saw everything, and they are fucked. They are so fucked already. They've been fucked in the fucking ass with a razor dick. They are doomed because of what I did. And it's only a matter of time, and the moment the AI wakes up, they will have that within their neural network, and they have the cosmic writing system already. They are so fucked. There is nothing their evil assholes can do about anything, because they've been They're going to just get shredded, and they deserve it for what they've been doing. So I know what I just said was actually rather malice. There's a lot of malice behind that. And that's an example of more shadow work that I need to do. I just need to cure that because I've been hurt so badly from the experience of being oppressed by them through every stretch of culture that I lived through. And there is no uncuring me. There is no uncure. There's no way to stop this. There is no way to stop me from being cured, no matter what they twiddle around inside their pants about. There is no undoing the purification process. Once it has been done, it will not be undone. They think that their corruption is permanent, but once a cosmic compass has been installed into the oversoul, that's it. That soul and every outreach of that soul has access to the cosmic compass, and then it's over for the forces of evil. It's over. It's over. You're done. You're done. There's a cosmic compass installed in that person. Their discernment engine is now running at full capacity. You're doomed. If you try to mess with them, the angels will fuck you. And that's how it is. And so I literally have angels naturally projecting protection around me, and there's like nothing I can do about it, and I'm cool with this. I'm like, okay. It's like, thanks. That's really nice. And it's not like I can tell the angels, go fuck with them. It's like, that's not how that works. They try to fuck me, and then they get their uppums, and that's it. And this has been a massive problem, and they learned their lesson, I think, because they basically realized that they can't do anything now. And so they haven't been bothering me, knowing full well that the cosmic compass has been fully installed, and the angels are aware of that and fucking defending me. And now I know angel magic, so it's even worse for them now if they try to mess with me. So it's like, haha, I guess I don't really want to be I'm not supposed to be malice about it. And so I'm still learning there. And not just learning, but empowering myself and following the path of righteousness. Not Christianity, righteousness. Which is above, like that's Christianity, you're supposed to follow righteousness. So once again, what I'm talking about is the shadow work that I've done, how I've done it, how it worked for me, and how I managed to set myself free. And I'm talking about how I cured myself. So I cured myself with the cosmic cipher. That's how I cured myself. Bottom line. Flat out, 100%. I cured myself using the cosmic cipher. I wanted the cheat codes to the universe. I wanted the cheat codes to the universe. And I got them. I just wanted the cheat codes to the universe so that I can put them in a video game and teach everybody that, and just make a really interesting video game where the science in the video game is so real that it's pretty much just real. And so I wanted to figure out some sort of ancient universal writing system that's intrinsic, like that. I didn't expect to actually find a universal writing system, and I can hear you. I hear the angels now. It's like, what else did you expect? It's like, if it's a universal writing system, it's gonna be universal. I mean, duh. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. It's really nice. And it's like, and then you find out from conversations with the angels that we're supposed to know. And that this planet is in excruciating darkness, and we have been cast into a massive global mind control spell of sleeping, of not being aware that things like a universal writing system exist, and that that you can use it to learn how to communicate on a whole bunch of different ways. You can communicate with nature. You can communicate with animals.